Right, notice there was a slight pause in the commentary there. That's because it's recorded as separate videos, and that was to try and avoid getting any artifacting. Unfortunately, there is artifacting in the boss battle at the end of this stage, and I apologise for that in advance. It was unavoidable. I don't know why it's there, so I couldn't possibly have avoided it. What are you talking about? In any case, we finally got the Rose Garden key, and we're going to have some swirly transitions, because I forgot that I had the Archives key, so I kept obsessively checking. I checked it twice for some reason. The Rose Garden key has been used, now we're in the Rose Garden, and since Rosa doesn't exist yet, all the roses are still white, or rather pink. I'm not sure why they're pink rather than white. Who knows? Maybe Rosa's just colourblind. So we'll swish at that, and then we've got to go off and fight a new vampire. This guy replaces Eyebrows Vampire, who of course isn't there yet because the table is. And we can't have him delete the table twice. That would be nonsensical. We can't violate the continuity in any more ways than we already have, or will later. That would make no sense. This is a conversation between man and woman. Mary, I need a drink. I'm so thirsty. No! Stay away from me! Why do you talk to me that way, Mary? I am the lord of this annex and your husband, and I'm telling you I need a drink. Oh, come on, Mary. Oh, I didn't see you standing there. The wife and I have a domestic problem we're trying to work out now. I don't know what you want, but could you come back another time? I'm looking for a girl by the name of Ada. Ada? I'm afraid I don't know anyone by that name. She had to have been brought here. I can just smell her. Smelly tart. I said I don't know her, and I mean it. Anyway, I am thirsty now, so wait a minute. You will do just nicely. What? Why, your warm blood, of course, with which to whet my whistle. Yes, the unknown vampire power number 33. Alliteration. Right, this is Master Aldry. He's useless. He's not a particularly tough or a particularly interesting vampire. He's just pretty much the same as the basic one. It's got a bit more health. So we will continue waving our level 3 cross around, defeat the living hell out of him, and he will be off shortly. There we go, that's him done. And in a minute we're going to find that pretty much all the messages in here are exactly the same as they were in the previous one. I imagine those are still beautiful paintings. That's still a comfortable bed. I didn't bother to check those out. But certainly there's nothing up here, again. This is just where the bat disappeared, so that is a bat disappearance place. A portal into bat space. Were we a bat, we might even be able to use it. There's nothing useful there. And Cornell also lacks spatial awareness. It's not a row of chairs, you silly young boy. Also, you'll notice that because of his N64 pause for hands, Master Audrey couldn't open a door that isn't locked. Anyway, this is Mary, so let's talk to her. Oh, thank you, young man. Has he left? I am Mary. I'm the wife of that vampire. Yes, the vampire Audrey is my husband. There was a man named Rais and a woman, actrice. They met in a cottage once and... They made him what he is today. He used to be such a good man. After he became a vampire, my husband started coming after me. And even after... Egad. Rather than become a vampire, I've even thought of taking my own life. But how could I leave little Henry behind? With a question mark? Can I ask you a favour, stranger? Help my little Henry escape... Oh, God. Henry is hiding near the entrance to the garden. If you go out the east gate, you can escape by a secret path through the forest. Please take Henry as far as this path. As a token of my gratitude, I will give you the copper key. Some grammatical issues lurk within. And demons lurk within the garden. Take care of my... son, young stranger. Not your car, then. There seems to be nothing useful here, and once again we have one of these cheaty nothing usefuls. It's actually gold in the opposite side of the table. We've got another cross here. I guess it was just lying around when Charlie came here, and he didn't bring it with him. Maybe he decided to... Maybe it gave him the idea of getting all those crosses, and he fashioned them from internal fixtures afterwards. Right, it's time for us to meet the new Legacy of Darkness gigantic fucking stained glass knight. I don't know why they decided to make these guys 9 feet tall. They don't even fit in the windows anymore, but they've got twice the number of power-ups, so who cares? We'll go in here, because the storeroom key is where it was before, and as are all the power-ups in here, we've got a purifying behind this, and we've got the 2 roast chickens in much the same places. So let's use a roast chicken again. Yes. It's marvellous fun to do so. There we go. Ah. Right, so chicken is upon us again, and we have the storeroom key here. And, as before, there's another chicken up in the lion's head. But we can't carry anymore, neither can we use one, so let's run into some pillars instead. Now, they've changed the save room over here around a little, the little storeroom save room, because they've moved the save crystal for some reason. I really don't know why. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, in we go here, get ourselves the free roast beef, and save. Not necessarily in that order. Now, as you might have fathomed from what we heard before... Pick it up. There we go. As you might have fathomed from what we heard before, that isn't the door. No, that's not what I was talking about. There is an escort quest coming up. In a Castlevania game. An escort quest. Through the garden maze. with Henry. I don't know why. I think the idea of it might well be just to make you hate Henry in advance because he's a good character, and there is no other reason for you to hate him. His quest isn't even that difficult, so beating this last night. And hate Henry you will after trying to do this quest, because he runs like a nailed-down slug. He moves like a beached whale on Valium, he's slower than Cornell, he's slower than fucking Chainsaw Eddie, he's slower than pretty much everything else in the game. The section is neither fun, difficult, nor interesting, but we will have to do it anyway, I'm afraid. And I will talk a little bit more about that when the time comes, in order to fill up some of the mighty amount of dead air that section creates, and I'll probably edit it all to hell as well. We'll see, it'll be marvellous. But now let's go and read Master Audrey's diary, which is our puzzle clue and the only reason to come into the archives, because there's nothing else in here. The words are scrawled in messy handwriting, the cover is signed J. Audrey. This diary must belong to the master of the residence. Oh, the world of death is fantastic! I must tell my family of this wonderful healing. My lovely wife Mary will be next, then our little Henry and anyone else who drops by to visit. I must repair all their gravestones. Oh, great and powerful Dracula, I pledge to be your servant forever. Does this come in some sort of order? Nope, it only comes in that order, I'm afraid. Many books, but none that appear useful. There is a book there on not walking into pillars, but Cornell isn't really that good at that whole reading thing either. Okay, so we found out that Master Audrey is completely batshit loco as well as a vampire, and he has decided for some reason to prepare a set of gravestones on his front lawn which have switches in them. Yeah, that's a brilliant way of explaining how that puzzle came to pass, and how those gravestones came to be there. Again, misplaced explaining. We don't need reasons for all this stuff. We don't need a reason as to why we started out in a dead end in Forest of Silence. You don't need them to add in a whole extra stage before that. You know, we could just fill in some of the plot holes we did have rather than inventing new ones and filling those in instead. But no, that would be too sensible and too sane. Anyway, down here we are going to get the Thorn Key, as was implied in the previous section. We need it to be morning, so let's use a sun card. Here we go. And it's now 6 AM, so we can go in here and we can pick up the Thorn Key. It is very silly how they decided to do this, because as I said, when sunlight reflects off a red rose, so yeah. Okay, right, we have Thorn Key. Well, I see that the key has no better grammar than the other one, at least. So we have Thorn Key, we need to go and get this, the Copper Key, though, so let's get to it, shall we? Now, for some reason, Cornell doesn't just, come back a half hour later and say, I've done it. Rather than that, he is actually going to do the quest, because he is honest, or dumb, or both. Alright, so now is the point where we will meet Renon. I'm going to actually cut this whole thing out, because, as I said, it's exactly the same, aside from what Renon gets scared by, which is, in this case, Cornell dropping his shoulder, as opposed to extending his neck, as before. There we go, so enough of that rubbish, and I bought a bunch of Sun and Moon cards mostly. In any case, let's get on to the next video. I'm Evil Tim, and this is Castlevania Legacy of Darkness.